Hello, people. Yeah, I told you about 38 minutes. But anyway, yesterday I went to go see the movie, uh, The Sound of Freedom. Um, my review is going to be hopefully going to make sense. Hopefully, going to be clear because I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm not really not. It's not. It is a good movie. Let's just start with the beginning. It is a good movie. It does emotionally grab you. It holds on to you for the most part. The entire film to an emotional level. It does. It doesn't really let go a whole lot emotionally, considering we are talking about sex trafficking of children. And the kids in this movie, they were good. I'm sorry. What they had to portray and what they had to act out and what they had to. I mean, the acting for these kids, what the movie they were in, they were good. I mean, I'm sorry. They were good. I'm not really sorry. They were good. Probably the best part of the film was their portrayal of these trafficked kids who are in a nightmare scenario, a nightmare world of being abused and everything else you can think of. That part is very good. That part grabs you. It just you just it emotionally gets to you. I mean, the person I was with was crying. She was crying next to me. I could hear her weeping over here. Yeah, over here. But for the most part, the movie is good. I can't. I'm not going to say I'm going to criticize it because I'm not really going to be criticizing it. My only problem I had with the movie, and really not the movie's fault, I don't think, because it is based on a true story, which is why it's in my writing and books part of my YouTube channel. If I do movies, it'll be in this part. Is I think one, it could be a little shorter, just a little bit. It seemed to just go on. And I think that's part of the criticism it's actually getting from some points. It does seem to come across sometimes as more of an adventure film of rescuing somebody. And I know that's not what they were going for, and they were going for what was really happening during when this guy did this. And Jim Caviezel is a good actor. He's a very good actor, and he can cry and tear up on a dime like that. He can do it. He can show those emotions, which is good. That's what acting is all about. I think it might have been done a little too much, but I think part of the problem is the subject really was emotional. It certainly was for him. I think it literally affected him emotionally. I mean, think about the subject, and can you blame him? No, I can't blame him. The movie overall is very good. Don't get me wrong. I have a hard time watching any movie, particularly in a theater. I like to get up and function. I can't get up and function in a movie theater. I have to sit there, and that for me, that as you all should know by now, I don't sit very well. I try, but I don't. But he does a good job. Don't get me wrong. They all do a good job. I think the kids did a better job considering they were the main focus of what was happening. I mean, there were some very good scenes. I mean, there were some emotionally gut wrenching scenes with the kids and with the perpetrators. I mean, they don't show you anything, they imply a lot. They imply a lot, which is probably why the film probably works better to me, because I think if they were to show a lot of these things, it would take away from the film because people wouldn't be able to watch it. I think it was hard enough for some people to watch it emotionally. I don't think they would be able to watch it physically. Watching it would just been too much. So the way they did it was good. I liked the way they did it. It was fine. There was nothing wrong with the way they did it. They did enough cutaways at the right moment. They did enough good scenes. I just think it was a little long. But that's just me. That's my own pet peeve. It's not the film's fault. That's my fault. That's my problem. But excuse me. I don't know how why there's a belch when I drink tea. Anyway, as it's based on a true story, if that's how it all went down, that's how it all went down. But I think it could have been edited a little more, at least make some scenes shorter. I mean, to keep the kid scenes, because those were the most gut wrenching. Those were the most emotional. those were just very difficult to watch, knowing full well what's coming. Because you do. If you haven't seen the film, you know what's coming. And so do those kids. And the people who play the predators or the pedophiles, I almost have to feel sorry for them because they have to play this evil character, and it's like, how? I don't. I could never be an actor. I like being a writer. Right? Writers are a lot more saner, I think. But Jim Caviezel does a great job playing the character of Tim Ballard. But anyway, the character who plays the dad of the two kids, he does. His very few scenes are very good, particularly at the end. I mean, I'm trying not to give away any spoilers, but I'm pretty sure most people probably already know what's going to happen if they know the story. So I'll try not to do any spoilers. But there's a part of me though that wishes something else had happened at the end because I think it would have been a little more realistic. But that's not how the actual story went, so that's why it went the way it went. But in my mind, if it had been a fictional story, it would have ended differently because I think that would have been more realistic. Don't get me wrong, this is a good movie. It really is a good movie. It does grab you emotionally. It doesn't let go. It has its moments of levity. I think the producers were trying to just tone down the emotionalness just a little at moments, which is a good idea. I think they tried to do that. I think there might have been too many, or at least too long. The acting is good, as I said. Um, I mean, I'm not really sure what else to say. It is good. It's worth seeing. You know what you're getting into. You know what the movie's about. It has a very good message. It has a very good cast acting, particularly the kids. Um, it does walk up a punch emotionally, as I keep saying, and I think that's what I'm trying to get across is it's trying to be emotional, maybe too much, if that's possible, but I'm not really sure it is. You know what it is? The human psyche can only take so much horror, something like this. Even for only 2 hours, that's almost too much. I mean, the subject matter is horrific. I mean, it is horrific. What is happening to millions and millions of kids, adults, whoever on this country about slavery. Because slavery still exists. As much as people would like to think that, we're not. Slavery is the biggest trafficking thing right now is slavery. It's human trafficking. I mean, it's almost bigger than drugs. But Caviezel has a little speech at the end, which is fine. And it's at the very end when it's all over and they're just doing the credits. And he's a good actor, as I've said. The other people are good actors too. I think the problem with me anyway is I'm too analytical. The person with me was not analytical. She was feeling all this, and I'm analytical. I can feel. The only scene that I can tell you that I actually felt any almost teary-eyedness was toward the end. That is the only part where I actually felt anything that really would imply tears to me anyway. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. All I know is that it didn't affect me on the same level because I'm probably too analytical. I don't think I'm unemotional. I just think I'm too analytical. But it did. I mean, it may not have emotionally affected me or got into my head, but it got into my head, which is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to make you think. It's supposed to make you wonder. It's supposed to make you want to do something and make you want to just strangle these people. It's like, it does affect you emotionally. But as I don't govern my life very much by my emotions, which is probably why it didn't affect me as much as it affected the person with me. And so that one scene was pretty good. I mean, it was bittersweet, I suppose. It was a good scene. It was probably one of the better scenes of the whole, probably the best, probably one of the best better scenes or happier scenes in the movie. Because in the beginning, you know what's coming. And I do like how they begin the movie, panning slowly toward her where she's sitting there drumming on her drum. And at the end, it slowly pans back from the same bedroom where she's sitting. I mean, I don't think that is a spoiler to say that that's fine, because I think people already know that. That's the whole point of the movie. I would recommend this film. Be prepared to be emotionally pummeled, because you will be pummeled. It will affect you. It will bother you. It should. It should affect you, and it will. If anything, at least it will make you think. I think the criticisms of this film are made by people who just don't get it, or for some reasons only they can explain or understand. I don't know why. I mean, maybe I am explaining it because it doesn't affect them, and I think that might be the biggest problem. If this issue does not directly affect a lot of these people, I don't think it's going to emotionally impact them. It's going to be ho hum. And I know that sounds terrible, but I think that's part of the problem with this movie, or at least not the movie. Why some people are just not getting it, because it doesn't impact them personally. The subject of child trafficking does not impact them personally, so they're not going to be invested to feel anything, or think they should feel anything, or want to do anything. Which is sad, because that's why it starts in the first place. But it is a good movie. I can kind of understand why people criticize it, because I think I understand human psychology and understand that if it doesn't affect them personally, they're not going to be affected by it. I don't think it's because they don't care, or at least, well, I think most of them do care. It just doesn't affect them. It's not personal to them. It's personal to the kids involved, but it's not personal to those who are watching this film or critiquing it or criticizing it. And I think that's probably where the biggest problem lies, why there's this gulf between the people who get it and the people who don't. Because it doesn't affect them personally. Which makes sense. It makes logical sense why this movie would not affect or really have an impact on other people, because most people react to things that affect them, or directly or indirectly affect them, not just some movie that says something. And I think the criticisms of this film are made by people who not necessarily don't get it, but aren't affected by it. They don't want to think about it. Who wants to think about an 11-year-old being molested? Pretty much is what this movie is. You know that's what's happening to these kids. It's never shown, which is good. But that is what's happening. You know what's happening. In the back of your mind, you know what's happening. And I think we're also becoming a very callous society. We're almost becoming rather indifferent and apathetic to other people's pain except our own, which is sad. Which I think is partly why people don't like this film. It's just making them feel something other than for themselves, for someone else. But that's just me. I've rambled on for quite a while, almost longer than I thought I would. See the movie. I give it a B. I liked it. It was okay. It was good. The acting is good. The kids were great because what they had to act out, what they were doing was good. The movie is fine. I get the criticisms, and I do. I think I do. I think I understand why. And I also get why some people also react the other way. They attack people who don't get it. It's an emotional movie. It's an emotional grabbing of every. It is a very emotional film. And I think that's probably what the problem is for some people. It makes them react unemotionally and emotionally, and those two forces do not fit well together. I don't know. I don't think it's apathy. I don't think it's indifference. I think it's just the lack of. It's not part of my life, my world, so why should I get involved? Welcome to being human. Humans are weird. That's why I like human. That's why I like writing. I like human nature. Excuse me. Well, people, I'm going to close this review now. I'm at 15 minutes now. Please subscribe, comment, hit the like button, share. Behave yourselves, people, because you know I'm not going to. Later, later.